So Asha, I feel like you are probably one of the nurses that I look up to the most.
Oh, thank you.
Working here. And you're always calm and collected. So, I just graduated in May. So for me as a new grad nurse, what would you say is like something that I can use to help me be calm and collected more?
I remember when I first started, I was like a nervous wreck constantly. And, there's so many time limits that we have. And I worked nights, so it wasn't nearly as hectic as day shift. It took a long time for me to realize and figure out that it's, as long as your patient is stable, they're alive, they're breathing, they're stable, that it will be okay. If there's, most of the time you're gonna have time to go in there and give them the care that they need, in a timely manner. But sometimes if if something happens and you have to be stuck in there with a patient, it's probably a good reason. One night I literally hit the floor, and I made my rounds. I always rounded on my patients, which I learned the hard way, not that you need to do that.
Yeah.
And thankfully I rounded on my patients that night because I saw them at 8, and then I was in a room with a patient and irrigated a Murphy drip. I call it a Murphy drip, but it's a bladder irrigation. I stayed in there until midnight. Did nothing but irrigate a catheter for 4 hours.
Wow.
And I was a nervous wreck. And you're working on this, you're trying to do everything you can, and the patient's yelling and screaming, it sounds like you're literally torturing somebody, but that's all that I could do, and thankfully, after a certain point, your team members come in and say, okay, what can we do? Luckily here, we've got really good people who would do that,
Right.
But it's just taking care of what you need to take care of at the time that you have to take care of it, and you're not going to figure that out until you have that experience. You've been there before, and it's just something that comes with time.